Hey everybody, this is Betsy Veldman for Papertrey Ink, and I'm here today to show you a little bit about the new impression plates that come in the Make It Market Luxe Letterpress kit. I wanted to just show you some of the details about how these work and let you see them in action. Okay, so in your kit you will get a full-size impression plate, which actually has a window cut out of the center. And it is sized perfectly to fit on the front of an A2 sized card. Let's see here. Okay. And then you also will receive 3 impression plate inserts, which actually will drop right inside of the cutout on the main full-sized impression plate. And each of these 3 impression inserts actually coordinates with one of the main sentiments in the stamp set that's also included in the kit. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to get kind of a custom letterpress look without the mess. Yeah, now obviously it's not actual letterpress. The process of letterpress involves inking plates and running them through a machine that way. But this allows you to get a look that is somewhat similar to the custom look of letterpress without having to do the messy inking. So what each of these inserts is it's a design that will coordinate with the sentiment stamps to give you kind of a custom impressed look. Okay, so a few little tips for using these. They are designed so that you can drop them, like I said, into the main impression plate, and they're symmetrical, which means you can use them to make vertical or horizontal cards. Okay, and you can also use this impression plate alone without an insert. So you can make cards with just a blank, nothing embossed in the center portion. So you could have, there are lots of different things you could do with that center portion. You could use some coordinate, you could use some stamps from your own stash of stamps, and you can make all sorts of designs in there. Or you can also use, obviously, the sentiment stamps in this set without the coordinating impression plates. So there's lots of different options. And then there is also a coordinating die. This actually die cuts this. So you could use the impression plates, the impression inserts, with the die as well to create layered effects. Another option you have for using the full-size impression plate with the die is that you can use it to create windows on the front of your card, or shaker elements. Like here, for example, this card I used the full-size impression plate and the die to create this shaker element. And you can see where the I have the sentiment and the coordinating impression plate is the backing of the shaker element. So if you're going to do that, I would recommend doing the die cutting first, because sometimes running it through the machine that second time, like if you would emboss first and then run it through again to die cut it, sometimes that second pass through the machine can kind of flatten out the impression. So I would die cut first and then emboss. And it's very simple to do that. What I did is I just laid my impression plate on top of my panel and then just drew a pencil line using the window opening in the impression plate as my guide. And then I could just go ahead and place my die on top of that that pencil line as a guide. And then I always like to just take a little post-it note and secure that in place while I run it through my machine so nothing moves out of place as it goes through. So a few little tips for using these. One thing, really important thing that I want to make sure everybody knows is that when you run these through your machine, with an insert, grab a piece of paper here, you need to make sure that they aren't shifting around in your machine. So when you run this through with the embossing mat, since this just nests inside of here, the embossing mat is rubberized, and that can tend to pull things out of alignment as you're running through your machine. So, and when you do that, what can happen is the insert here can pull out of place and override your main plate, and that could potentially cause them to bend. So you do not obviously want that to happen. So in order to prevent that, it's a really simple solution. Just take a piece of painter's tape, masking tape, washi tape, even a post-it note. Just something with a little bit of adhesive, and just go ahead and tape that down before you run it through your machine. And that way everything stays put and you don't have to worry about anything sliding out of place. Okay? So super easy fix on that. Alright, one other thing I wanted to show you is I have one here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this because it's white on white on my camera. It's not the best quality. But like I said, each insert coordinates with one of the large sentiment stamps in the set. And in order to line that up just right, when you work with these, you'll see that like here there's a little place here where the loop of the D here that says bride and groom, the loop of that D will just nestle right inside of there. And same here, where you can see where the bottom of the G comes down a little bit lower on groom here, and there's a place right in here where it's impressed, where that just will nestle right in there. It can be a little bit difficult to see because it's white on white, so I'll just have a little tip for you to help you out with that. What I do is I take a post-it note and I'm going to line that up right with the edge of that line, impressed line there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom here, just starting the post-it note at the end of that line. So basically when I stamp this here, my D needs to go right up there. This post-it's going to be the guide, and my G needs to go right down here, and this post-it is going to be the guide. And if you want even more of a guide, you could, for lining it up at the right angle, I could put another little post-it here. And I'm lining that up with that impressed line. It might be a little easier for you to see on the impression plate itself here. You can see where there's a gap in these two lines. The G needs to nestle right in there, and the loop of the D right in between those two. So these post-it notes will just help me line everything up. I'll just stamp that a minute using the gold ink pad that is also comes with your kit. And now you can see how that's just going to help me line everything up. And there you go. And you can see how that made it a lot easier to see my guides and to get my sentiment positioned in just the right place. So that is just a little bit of an introduction to the dies and impression plates that are included in the very first ever Make It Mark It kit from Papertrey Ink. And I hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to sharing these projects with you and having you work with the kit as well. Thanks for watching. This has been Betsy Veldman for Papertrey Ink.